welcome back to the Star Sailors League, and we're in the beautiful Brunnen in Switzerland for the fifth and final race of the Eastern Hemispheres. Just a quick wave to the camera before we whiz out onto the water. Very quickly tell you it's Francois from Star Sailors League here, Chris, our vision mixer, and then Bridie and Ben from Virtual Eye are going to be running the machinery. And we can fire up the leaderboard going into what we know is the final race. The race committee is trying to get a start away in about 2.5 minutes or so, and we can give you the overall scores just before this race. Now, we know that Diego Negri and Sergio Lambertenghi have got this in the bag. They've won it because there's only one race to go. And they have 3 bullets and a 6th. So their discard would be this race, and the worst discard would be a 6th. So the fight is on for 2nd and 3rd, the podium positions. And there are a few contenders here. The Greeks, Papathanasiou and Chotras, with Szabo and Pulfer. And Merkelbach and Bartel are also in the mix, as are Lofsted, sailing with current world champ Fritjof Clean. And Pascalato and Burning could also get there, as could Berger and Marazzi with their discard after this race coming up. Now we're going to take a virtual fly over to the race course. So we're about 2 minutes before the scheduled start. The race officer has postponed and kept them ashore, and now it's still raining out there and it's still a bit grotty, but they think they still have enough breeze to get this final race away. Quite a few boats have stayed ashore. We're 1 minute 30 to go, and we know, I think I can confirm, that the Italians, Negri and Lambertenghi, have not gone out onto the race course. So they stayed ashore. Fair enough, they've got it in the bag, and they went out this morning, all game to get 2 races in the bag, but they have won this championship. That's, I believe, mathematically correct. Francois will tell me if I'm wrong. And out on the water, Christian Shearer is our commentator right next to the committee boat. Christian, let's come out to you and talk us through the start.
Yeah, hi, Big B. I'm actually over at the pin end now. It's pretty breezy. Actually got some nice gusts, 10, 12, sometimes even 15 knots. Bit of a bunch up here. It's a clear pin end favor. A lot of boats over here at this end. Only little time to go before the start. And I'm not sure, actually, if this is going to be a start. It's like there's been an AP again. I can't clearly see that, but it looks like it's been AP'd, the whole thing. The boats are off anyway. Just a start now. I'm not sure that everybody got it, but that looks a bit disorganized, the whole thing. Yeah, it looks like the thing has been AP'd again, so I don't think there's a start. I don't know if you guys have some information from the race committee, but that looks like this is not an official start. The thing has been AP'd. Back to you, to the studio.
Well, Christian, we can confirm we've just had a ping from the race boat, the race committee boat out there. They have flown an AP flag, obviously not happy with the look of the line and the look of the course and the wind direction. So our commiserations actually to the race committee and the sailors out there, but Beat Hines, the principal race officer, really struggling to get the 5th and final race away for the Star Easterns. Now, local time, we are 14:41, so we're 19 minutes to 3 p.m, and the last start they can get away is in about 15 minutes. So I think we'll just we'll stay with you for the next 10 minutes or so, and we'll see if the race officer can get we'll see if the race officer can get the final race underway. Xavier Rohart, who is ranked number 3, I think, on the Star Sailors League at the moment, he's in Marseille, and we might dial into Xavier for some expert analysis of what's going on. But at the moment, very clearly, the race officers struggling to get this final race away. It's been miserable here, I must admit, on this final day. We have had some lovely weather in Switzerland on Lake Lucerne. We've had sunshine and we've had a few thunderstorms. It's been hot, it's been cold, but today has been fairly overcast and drizzly. And there, in fact, you can see some rain spots on the lens of our beauty cam, and you can see a little ferry going across the lake there. So very overcast, and if you look at that, just that bush, that tree right in front of our camera, overlooking the lake, there isn't much movement on that tree, is there, Chris? I think the race officer is going to be very lucky to get this away in the next 10 minutes. Well, let's just go out to Christian again on the water. Christian, you can give us a real live feedback of what the wind is doing out there.
Well, it's now here getting pretty strong, the breeze. I read 17, 18 knots coming from the north, and it's been just a big left shift. That's why this has been cancelled. The second guy to the race-off is actually holding the AP in his hand. The AP is just going down now, so this will be 6 minutes to a start. So Bert Heinz and his team is trying again. Breeze just gone down a bit. We still got 12 knots here blowing. So really good wind condition. It's a bit gusty and up and down, but looks good. Like they will start the procedure. 5 minutes going to come up any time here. So we're ready for the 5th race. They're trying, and I hope they succeed with doing this. Back to you to the studio.
Thanks, Christian. Well, race committee just confirmed to us that in about 15 seconds we will see that 5-minute gun. So 5 minutes to go to the next start. 4 minutes, I believe. Am I right, Bridie? Just across from Virtual Eye. We're 14:44. Okay, we're in sequence. 4 minutes. 4 minutes to go. And good luck to the race officers. They're really trying hard to get this 5th and final race away. Now, we came live a little earlier today when they tried to set up a race course on the other side of Lake Lucerne, on the Gazawa side. They've moved the entire race over to the Unnersee, the southerly part of Lake Lake Lucerne, the Wildwaldstätter Sea, the Lake of 4 Forested Cantons in German, and in English we call it Lake Lucerne. So 3.5 minutes or so to go to the start. We're just going to fly us right up virtually over Lake Lucerne. Top of the picture, that little clump of buildings there, that is Brunnen, and we are commentating from there. On the left-hand side, you can see the westerly side of the lake, the Gazawa, where they were this morning, and they've run a few races. They ran the first of the 4 races so far out there. And on the right-hand side of Lake Lucerne is the Unnersee, the southerly part of the race, and that's where the traditional thermal breezes come through. But I'm not sure if we've got a thermal breeze today. It's so overcast. We must be looking at a bit of prevailing wind just chipping over the mountains. But let's fly us back down to the start line. Christian Scherer is one of Switzerland's best-known sailors full-time. He's a past world match racing champ, and he sailed with Alinghi, the America's Cup team, which was fronted by Ernesto Bertarelli, famously, who took it off the Kiwis, and an amazing contest there, amazing few America's Cups with the Swiss involved. Maybe they'll get back again, we never know with the America's Cup. But let's get back to Christian, about 2 minutes to go. Christian, just tell us, what can you see, whereabouts are you on the course?
I'm just racing over to the pin end, which looks to be secured again. Black flag has been hooked. So this is the black flag start. Most left boat at the moment is the Greek team, Papatanasio, and his crew member. They're coming over here to the pin end. Breeze is still pretty gusty between 10 and 15, 17, 18 knots. I have a bit more than 2 minutes for a start here. Looking up, there's just a big through while the fleet is moving in here. I have first boat is Papatanasio, and then Lofted is over here as well. I see George Sabo coming over here to this end as well. There's a group over on the other side that probably believes in the rising tide, but it looks nice here on the left, and I think these guys want to get a bit of extra pressure to bias up the line, and probably some lift off the cliffs over here. Got a bit more than 1 minute 30 to a start. Some of the boats are a bit early over here, so they're tacking back. But definitely for the top boats here, Zabo, Lofsted, Papatanasio, I see Merkelbach over here as well. They want to be over here. They want to be around here, starting over here. We have about 1 minute to go now. It's a start that is under black flare, so you don't want to start early. He's still pretty unstable and catchy here. Getting slowly, the boats are moving in. I see Rotemund is over on the side as well. Lofsted, another Italian boat. Everybody getting closer to the line. Bit more than half a minute to go, and it's the Greek team again who's going for a pin end start. They're the closest to me, so the closest to the pin. They're going to nail it again. Looks like it. Amazing how these guys do this every time and every time. Just to Wimber on their hip, it's Rotemund as they're closing in. It's just a couple of seconds to go now. Flapping jigs, nice breeze. This is going to be a good start. Just a couple of seconds to go. And they're sheeting on, and they're off. The bow number 6 has been really close here to the starting line. Lofsted, he probably had the best start. I'm not sure, and he's not over early. They're going now. Everybody has started. The Greek boat is the most to the left. They're getting pulled by Rotterdam actually at the moment. They're struggling a bit. Breeze, really unstable. Bit left shift as they're going off the starting line here. Some boats don't even make actually the start line. They have to tank to do the start line. Big lefty here for the guys. The Rotemund and the Greek guys are the first ones to attack. And the breeze is just really a bit funny here. I better get out of the way here. Some of the guys are coming towards me as the breeze has really gone left. It's really weird now. There's a big shift to the other side. It's all on here. Back to you, to the studio, guys. I'm sure you can see some of this action on the virtual.
Well, not only can we see the action, we can see your actual boat. We put a tracker on your boat, Christian, and we saw you just doing a little bit of manoeuvre to get away from Nazzaro and Rocha. But thank you very much for that intro. And as we look at Virtual Eye, Berger and Marazzi almost furthest left going up the track. But the Greeks, again, those pin-end specialists have gone off to a flying pin-end start and pulling out an early lead. So great stuff from Emilios Papathanasiou and Antonis Chotras, and behind them in the next little group we've got the Germans Rotterman and Holweg, and a whole lineup of Swiss boats, and just above that little bunch of Swiss is the Brazilians, just going really strong. So it's kind of interesting that, and a little bit of a shame that the regatta leaders aren't out there, Diego Negri and Sergio Lambertenghi. But, you know, we knew that if they only had one race to go, mathematically they had it in the bag. So fair enough. They came out this morning and they thought there might be 2 races, and if there were 2 races, then there could be a battle on for the overall victory. But we can confirm that Negri and Lambertenghi have won the Eastern Hemispheres with a race to spare, which is pretty impressive. Now we're into race number 5. After 5 races, all these guys out here can use a discard. They can discard their worst result. And I'm looking at Szabo and Pulfer just to the right of our screen. George Szabo from San Diego and Serge Pulfer from Switzerland have teamed up for this championship, and those are the guys who we should kind of focus on, just to kind of see who's going to come out top between the Greeks, Papathanasiou and Chotras, and the American George Szabo with Swiss Serge Pulfer. And that's how it's looking at the moment. Merkelbach and Bartel are in the mix as well. They're 4th overall going into this 5th race, but their string of 7th results, 12th is their worst discard so far. And we should say that quite a few people are not out there on the track. We had around 50 entries for the Star Eastern Hemispheres, and quite a few sailors have not come out this morning, and quite a few went in after about 2-3 hours just sitting out there in the rain, in the cold, and I think they've just decided that that's enough. I'll tell you what, I will read out as best I can the list of sailors who've are just the skippers' names who've decided not to go out today, who are not competing. So if you're watching at home, we can confirm that the following are not racing for the final race. That's Schmidt, Scheinecker, Canali, Urban, Helmsing, Kappas, Trinkart, Kulpe, Stauer, Hurt, Trim, Worth, Vasa or Vesa, and Mazzadotti, and then Rauch, Negri, Itunziker, I think that is, and Vatter, Chatanier, and Speer. So a bunch of guys not out there, and that's why you're not seeing them on virtual eye. So this is the race at the moment, and really we are racing for the 2nd podium position and the 3rd podium position. That's where it's all going to be today, and there are a bunch of boats who will have a great time discarding their worst result from this 5th race. Francois next to me, the Star Sailors Class Chief Technology Officer, is just reminding me that George Szabo needs to actually finish 2nd to get 2nd on that podium mathematically. Francois is doing all the numbers. So George Szabo needs a 2nd place finish to get 2nd overall. And George and Serge have a 2nd, a 7th and a 15th from yesterday. So if they can drop that 15th and place 2nd in this race, that will see them on the 2nd position on the podium. Virtual Eye is giving us now the lead by Merkelbach and Bartel. Well, that's interesting. Hubert Merkelbach, the European champ, sailing with Gerrit Bartel, is suddenly finding his form, and he's having a really good battle, and the lead just changing as we talk between Alessandro Pascalato and Henry Burning, the Brazilian skipper there, duking it out with the German skipper, and that's a good to see as they hammer up the lake. And we will just fly in a little bit and just see how Szabo and Pulfer are getting on. Well, they're at the top of our screen and in the back row. So at the moment, not looking so good for George Szabo and Serge Pulfer for that podium, 2nd podium spot. But there's plenty more racing in this. It's an upwind, downwind race, a windward-leeward course, and they're going to do 2 laps, so effectively 4 legs. And I'm hoping the race officer has set the minimum distance that he can just to get this race completed. We are about 4 minutes to 3 local time, CEST in Switzerland, 4 minutes to 3, and expect this race to last about an hour and a half. Out there on the water, our commentator Christian Scherer. Christian, I imagine you've moved a little bit further up the race course. We've got a good drag race at the front of the fleet, and it's looking like a battle between Merkelbach, Bartel, with Pascalato and Burning at the moment. What can you see?
Yeah, it's actually shifted right after the big lefty at the start. So we have more shift to the right, but actually brought Merkelbach and Pascalotti back into the game. And George Saber, who was you talked about earlier, who was all the way to the left here, he had to reposition and actually lost a lot. And as they're going, everybody on Saab attack in this big right-hand shift going up the lake, almost parallel to the shoreline. And I'm pretty sure there's going to be some lefty at the end of this. So this will mix it up a bit again, and then see Merkelbach and the Greek guys being nicely positioned if there's some more lefty coming. So conditions still pretty nice, strong winds, pretty gusty, rainy, between 10 and 15 knots up and down all the time, and some gusts hitting the fleet as we go here up the course towards the Windward Lake. Back to you in the studio, guys.
Thank you, Christian. So around halfway up this first beat, and Christian mentioned the Greek team of Papathanasiou and Chotras, and I think that their tracker has run out of juice because we're not seeing them on Virtual Eye. So Christian, if you can keep us up to date with where the Greek pair are. They had a super start, and they should be in that front pack, and that's going to make a big difference. They are second overall going into this race on 13 points, so we're battling away for the second and third positions on that podium. A lot of prestige in this Star Eastern Hemispheres. I know that Diego and Sergio, we had them in our little studio last night reviewing race number 4 through Virtual Eye. We played it earlier when we thought we were into a start sequence, so you can still see that online if you've missed it. Pretty cool insight from Sergio and Diego on their leg 3 and 4 of race number 4, where they duked it out with Papathanasiou and Chotras and just managed to take them on the final leg going downwind. Good stuff, good insight, great use of Virtual Eye, but unfortunately we have lost the Greek pair through that tracker. So Christian, back out to you actually. Where can you see the Greeks from your position?
Yeah, I can see the Greeks. They're actually just parallel with the Germans, bow to bow, going up that windward leg. They're, I'd say, on the same height to leeward of them as they go up on starboard tack. They're on the same tack as the Germans, probably bow to bow, as I would say. There's a big shift hitting the fleet, 10 to 15 knots up and down. Actually, the Greeks are just tacking now with a bit more left, and they will probably cross behind the Germans, but if the Germans keep on going, I can tell you that in a second they're just sailing along. Actually, the Germans are tacking as well. They're getting the same shift, so now it's just a bit different. I would, looking from here, the Greek team is in the lead. Big header for the Germans. The Greeks are actually tacking right away again, and a bit further to windward on the right-hand side, there's another Swiss boat that I can't see the sail number right now, but they look to be about in front now, actually, just same up with the Greek boat at the moment.
We can confirm on Virtual Eye that I think the other Swiss boat you're talking about is Lorenz Zimmermann, the event organizer here in Brunnen. He's running the whole gig with Philippe Rottermund, and Lorenz is sailing with Marcus Coy, who was the Eastern Hemisphere champ with Robert Staniek in 2005 and a 3-time European champ. Robert Staniek, great guy, and Marcus Coy, a fantastic crew in the star class. So they may fire up, the Greek trackers. It might fire up again, fingers crossed, but these guys have been out for quite a long time. The race officer, Beat Heinz, had them out fairly early before lunch just to maximise his opportunity of getting a 5th and 6th race in. This is race number 5. It is going to be the final race of the Eastern Hemispheres, and of course the Greek team are second on that leaderboard, and with this result, if they're even near the front of this pack, that's going to be consolidated. So the story really is for George Szabo and Serge Pulfer to finish second in this race, to climb them up to second. Doesn't look like that's happening at the moment. But if the Greek team are leading away, which we can't see on virtual, at least we chatted to them last night after racing. We caught up with Emilios and Antonis just for their thoughts and to try and get a little bit of insight into their game plan going into the 5th race. Now, after 4 races, Emilios and Antonis from Greece, it looks like there's 4 points in it between you and Diego and Sergio, the Italians. You had a humdinger of a battle in race number 4, swapping the lead, but it's pretty tight at the top. Just tell us, how was race 4 and how are you feeling?
Race 4, it was really difficult, but we make, I think, a very good strategy with Adonis. We decide to start the pin, make port start, and we're leading from the first moment. Second bit, Diego was 4, and he go maximum right. I think he make a little bit risky, and we try to keep the concentration to win the race. But at the end, take one shift Diego in the coming on the top mark together. And after in Downwind, it was not easy to take it because, as everybody we know, Diego is like professional star sailor, sailing after Olympics like 15 regattas. For us and Adonis, me and Adonis, we're not sailing for 1 year and a half. And always Diego with good equipment, training a lot, and they have a little bit more things and all time when we are together. But we are the gap close slowly. It is important.
Both of you had pretty good boat speed in race 4, and you guys are on form, and you're starting incredibly well. Antonis, it's getting to the point where you can discard a race, and it's getting very, very close into the grand finale, the final day. What is your kind of overall mood, your overall game plan?
We feel confident, we feel great. Our plan is to be on the podium, but for sure, and of course, we push for the first place. We are here to win, and we will make our best. Always we are close every race with Diego, and always we lose on details or in the penalty yesterday, but we give it a try, and I hope we will do our best tomorrow.
Okay, so we've got 1, maybe 2, I don't know. We're not sure what the weather's going to be doing for this final race. It's all a bit up in the air. Are you going to be conservative or aggressive?
We're sailing all time aggressive, but except Diego, behind of us exist very good sailors and very high level sailors. This means tomorrow we discard everybody one race. This means a lot of people have chance. This make the game more difficult. We try to, after the start, to see how situation it is, and after during the first bit, we decide with Adonis what we do. We make attack or we make keep calm.
Okay. All right, so interesting chess out there on the water. We wish you the very best of luck and enjoy your sailing, and we hope to see you on the podium.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Well, that was Emilios and Antonis after yesterday's 4th race as they came in. Very nice pair, real gents, very tough competitors out on the water. Pin end start specialists, and it was interesting to see a little bit of the mindset of Emilios coming into this race. And out on the water, the boats are approaching that top mark, the first top mark, and we're going to have to ask Christian, where are the Greek team, because I think their tracker, their battery has run out on their tracker. Christian, tell us about the Greeks first of all.
Yeah, I'm just here at the top mark now, and the boats are approaching. It's gone quite a lot lighter. We probably have another 4, 5, maybe 6 knots left here, and the Greeks are in the lead, just a little bit ahead of Zimmermann and Koi, and I see the Germans in the mix there, Merkelbach as well. There's actually been the lefty coming back, which helped the Greek team to position themselves in that position. Now it's shifting a little bit back right, but they're just coming here up to the top mark. It's quite a lot less breeze. The crewmen are sitting inside; they're not hiking anymore. Big righty now, actually, on the fleet, so this could change things a little bit. But I still see the Greek team in front, and then it's going to be either Zimmermann or Merkelbach. Greek boat is just close right now. Pascalato has already packed their laying. Here comes the pack from the Greek. Zimmermann is packing at the same time. He went a bit too far. Merkelbach is packing as well. So here we're coming in, and we have now Papathanassiou coming around that top mark as the first boat, closely followed by 3 boats altogether. That is Merkelbach, Pascalato, and Zimmermann. Actually, it's Merkelbach coming in first, then Pascalato in the 3rd position, and Zimmermann in 4th position. So in the lead with, let's say, 4 boat lengths on that spreader leg is Papathanassiou, then Merkelbach, then Pascalato, then Zimmermann. And afterwards we have bow number 17, which is Hans Strickler together with Urs Bahr, and then the Swiss finished 3rd in the race yesterday, Christoph Gauci together with Dominik Schenk. Just behind them, the Italians, Danelon coming around, one of the Germans actually having to do a penalty turn just up here. It is bar number 12, penalty turn now. And John Sado has now just gone around that top mark, but not the best beat for him. And the breeze has really gone down quite a bit as the big chunk of the fleet is now coming up to the mark. Meanwhile, over on the far end, I have the Greek, Papathanassiou, going downwind with the mast tilted forward. The crewman is on the foredeck. You still have 3, 4 boat lengths lead over the other group with the Brazil, Germany, and Switzerland. And we hope this breeze is staying in. It got quite a bit lighter, but there's still 6, 7 knots out here for this downwind leg. Back to you in the studio.
Well, thanks for talking us through that, Christian, and we can confirm that we have the tracker back miraculously from Papathanassiou and Chotras. Some technological miracle has just happened, and their tracker has fired up again, and so we can see them clear as day, hammering down the first downwind leg at the front of the fleet. And what that means in the overall story is that that means they will hang on to their 2nd overall position. So the Greek team off to a great start, a super pin end flying start, and they're leading this fleet around that top mark and the spreader mark, and they're hammering downwind, and I would say they're going to be extremely hard to catch. Once they're out front, they get a bit of clean air, a bit of space around them, and they're going to be very, very hard to beat. The story really is how is our lovely American friend George Szabo sailing with Swiss Serge Pulfer, Xavier Rohart's normal crewman. How are they getting on? We can just see them at the bottom of our screen, 8th position at the moment. So they've got a bit of a battle. They've got a bit of work to do. They need to attack those guys in front and find an extra gear going downwind. There's still quite a lot of racing left in this 5th and final race. Remember, they're going to be able to discard their worst result at the end of this race, and that's going to make a big difference to the overall leaderboard. So that is the beautiful picture on virtual eye of the remaining competitors going around that spreader mark and all heading downwind. Just around the spreader mark is Tom Lofsted and Fritjof Kleen. Tom from Sweden, he's one of the most experienced star sailors in Sweden. He was 3rd in the 2013 Europeans, and he's done quite a few star class events, and he's sailing with the reigning world champ Fritjof Kleen, or Frida to his friends, a real character. And there was a funny moment this morning because I think Fritjof had got some sort of challenge for a charity to pour a bucket of ice cold water over himself, the Ice Bucket Challenge, and he'd been challenged by some of his buddies over in Sweden racing at the RC44s, and so we filmed him this morning and stuck that on Facebook. So that's all good stuff. Frida really loved that, and he's challenged a few more people, and that's the way it's going to go in sailing for a little while. And back to the race in question, and interesting lead change. Look at that, 3 boats in a line, neck and neck, hammering down this run. The Greeks duking it out with Merkelbach and Bartel, and then the Brazilian Alessandro Pascalato with Henry Burning in that mix as well. And right there they were all side by side, neck and neck. It's getting exciting on the water for this leg, as that little there's 4 or 5 of them now hammering down the leg, and we can put some boat speeds and give you a little bit of indication of how fast these guys are going on virtual eye, and we'll find out some boat speeds in a moment. I'm imagining that Christian is probably doing a bit of repositioning to get himself back towards the front of the fleet, but an exciting race, number 5, with the Greeks maintaining that lead but it was very close. They got overtaken just for a second, but there you can see the Brazilian Alessandro Pascalato sailing with Henry Burning just on their hip there, and right next to them is Zimmermann and Coy, and Lorenz Zimmermann, the organizer of this event here in Brunnen, and he's done an amazing job creating a little new harbour, an extension to the Brunnen harbour, so that all the stars can park up. And right next to them is the European champ Merkelbach with Gerrit Bartel. Going into race number 5, Merkelbach and Bartel were 4th overall, 33 points, so a good result in this final race will mean that they can discard their worst result, which at the moment is a 12th. So quite interesting. These guys are still fired up. We know the Italians have got it in the bag and have not come out to do the final race, Negri and Lambertenghi. That's fair enough. It's perfectly acceptable in sailing to do that. And they did sail out this morning because there could have been 2 races. And so they were out there duking it out this morning with possibly two races to go. But they knew that with 1 race, they have it in the bag. So they've come back to pack up their boat. But meanwhile, out on the water, a super drag race with the top 5 boats just hammering down the leg. Now let's see if we can catch up with Christian out on the water. Christian, it's getting pretty exciting at the front of the fleet here.
Yeah, we got this group all together. Actually, the Greek team hasn't really been able to pull away from that triple group, and actually at the moment the Brazilians Pascalato and Zimmermann having the best speed, and they're all lapping up a little bit, all closely together. All crewmen foredeckers are standing next to the mast, balancing the boat as they come downwind here. And it's, Papatanasiou probably just has 2 or 1.5 boat lengths of lead left, while the other 3 boats are all really close together, and with the pups filling from behind, it's actually interesting to see how they accelerate and decelerate and trying to position themselves towards that leeward mark. We have a bit further back Stöckli and Spar, the other Swiss team. They're actually jiving now. They must have seen some pressure further on the left, and they're going for that. So that'll be interesting how that'll work out. What we learned the last that looking on the action of this race course on the Downwind, actually right now doing the same giant boats, and it'll be interesting to see. Actually, over there there is more pressure. We have Stöckli and Spar nicely accelerating. They're taking a lot of speed here, and Brazilians are driving now. Zimmermann is driving now as well, and probably the Greek will follow just in a second. So this is going to be interesting. There's new pressure filling in. At the moment, I see the Germans actually being the fastest. Germans are really shooting in here with the best pressure. Stöckli and Spar further out to the left, looking up when actually have gone light, and now the breeze is filled in. So it's a full-on race. You'll see the Greek team being sailing really nicely and being best positioned at the moment. But in that group, it's a lot is going to happen. Right now, it's actually Stöckli again who got the puff. He's shooting in. Looks like he's going to overtake everybody. So this downwind leg is far from being over. Far from being over. Yeah. Now you guys probably see the Germans with this pressure coming down. Merkelbach and Bartel just sailing forward together with Stöckli, just overtaking Zimmermann and Pascalato. And if they keep on going like that, they're going to overtake they're going to overtake Papatanasio as well. It's Stöckli who's got the best breeze now, and he's, from my point of view here, sailing into the lead here right now. Back to you, Pete.
Great stuff, Christian. Real drama for the final race 5 of the Star Eastern Hemispheres, and on Virtual Eye we could see so clearly that gust hitting Stöckli and Spar. They hit up to 7 knots and just launched ahead of Merkelbach and Bartel, and then that breeze hit Zimmermann and Coy, and it's now beginning to hit the Brazilians Pascalato and Burning. So this is a bit of a disaster for Papatanasio and Chotras, who were leading down this leg and then got onto the wrong side of that extra pressure. And you can see we've been running the boat speeds of these guys, and still Stöckli and Spar just hammering away and managing to pull away from the Greek guys Papatanasio and Chotras. So good stuff in Brunnen on Lake Lucerne. A great, exciting final race, and these guys at the moment really enjoying themselves out on the water. And we must say well done to the principal race officer, Beat Heinz, for getting this race in. There's a lot of doubt earlier whether it was going to happen. He moved them from the western side of Lake Lucerne, the Gezawa, to the southerly side of the Lake Unnissy, and that's where we are now, looking southwards on Virtual Eye. And it's a cool scenario. Everyone's crowding around us in the studio here, just having a little look at Virtual Eye, seeing what's going on. And I can tell you that all the way in France, all the way over in France, we have none other than 2 times Star World Champion, one of the co-founders of the Star Sailors League, Xavier Rohart. And if the miracles of technology are with us, we can actually patch Xavier in. And Xav, tell us, whereabouts are you, mate?
I'm like in my office. I'm at home, and I in my little office. So the place where I manage everything I do except sailing.
Very good. I'm enjoying seeing all the accounts behind you, all your tax returns. Very good, very organised, Xavier. So we can put Xavier picture in picture and continue to watch the race. And I know you've been out in Brazil at Rio for the Olympic test sailing event. Just very briefly, we can still watch Virtual Eye and chat to you. You're coaching, I believe, for some of the French Olympians.
Yeah, I'm actually helping the 49er, the French 49er, to go to the Olympic Games and have that medal they try to have since so long time now, and so they are improving. And the Rio place is very difficult for sailing. A little bit as a lake. There is lots of cliffs and mountains around the racing area. So it's very near from the way how to sail here in Brunnen.
Well, I'm sure you would love to be competing here to
Definitely.
keep up your ranking points on the Star Sailors League, which is all important for some of you guys. I'm guessing you've been tuning into a little bit of the racing here. We know that Diego Negri and Sergio Lambertenghi have got this championship in the bag with a race to spare. They don't need to be out on the race course for the fifth and final leg, so they're not there. They've got that one. But it's all on and quite close racing. What can you tell us? What have you been observing, Xavier?
I was looking very interesting the upwind one. I was very looking to the road that every boats were doing because you can see that it was very difficult, very patchy, and the speed was always very important, but the position on the wind shifts and the shore effect was really important. And I'm a bit for the Greek friends, I'm a bit oh la la. Because they have everything under control, and now after this downwind and some patch wind again, and it's very difficult for them.
Just stay on the line, Xavier, just for a few minutes. We'll take them round the bottom gate. We can see Merkelbach now jibing away, Stokely and Spar continuing on their jibe. Let's just go back out onto the water to Christian Scherer. The Greeks really were pretty unlucky with that because it looked like the breeze just came in and hit all the boats, one after the other. From the left-hand side as we look up the course, from the right-hand side as they race down the course. Christian, you're out there. What can you tell us?
Yeah, it's still better on the left-hand side when you look upwind. Most of the boats have jibed one time back and then again to the other side now. Nice. Yes, looks still like Strictly and Spar have the best over there on the far side from where I am, while on the left side looking upwind. And the guys who are struggling the most are Papatanasio and his crew. They're jibing forward and back. They just jibed again, and they're just looking at the breeze. And there's a bit more breeze coming down, but it's a nice little lead that Strictly Spar sailed out of that, and I see actually then Merkelbach in second position with Zimmerman, and then the Brazilians, and then the Greek guys. Now there's a bit more pressure coming down as we approach this gate. Big puff now on Merkelbach. They're coming back into the boat. Zimmerman as well. Quite a bit of a shift here. Looks like a nice lead here for Spar and Strictly. They're setting up to go around the left-hand mark, looking upwind. They're just putting their pool away, getting ready. Meanwhile, I see the other teams coming over to my end, which is on the right-hand side mark when you're looking upwind. And there's a bit more bad weather to come, a bit more extra pressure. Actually, a big shift is just coming in here as Strictly and Spar are going around that gate. They're taking the left-hand side. There's more rain coming, and it's a bigger right-hand shift as they're going around. On the other side, I have the Germans just going around the mark now, and Zimmerman and Coy just coming around as well. Germans tacking right away, the same with Zimmerman. So after them, Pascalato from Brazil, and then the big losers of this downwind leg, Papathanassiou, the Greek team that has lost a lot here. But with the big right-hand shift, I don't know if Strictly and Spar made the right decision of going to the left-hand gate looking upwind. At the moment, I see the Germans, Merkelbach and Bartel, in the lead. Actually, over there on the left-hand side, it's gone really light. The new rainfall has actually just come with this right-hand shift. So for me right now, it is the Germans in the lead, then Zimmermann, then Pascal, and now Spar gets a new breeze. Anyway, now it's a big gap before the next boats are coming to that lowered mark, and it'll be interesting to see on the tracker what that breeze does. And I'll give it back to you guys for a little moment here.
Great stuff, Christian. And just for viewers on Virtual Eye, Christian is actually on the white boat. We decided to put a tracker on him full time, 24 hours, just to see what he's up to, crawling through all the nightclubs in Brunnen. Just joking. But there's Christian on the right. He's right next to the gate, and we can see Danilon and Gazzetta coming down towards that gate, and Papathanassiou tacking away upwind and heading right. That's interesting. The Greek team who got hammered on that downwind leg from first to fifth, I think they've just tacked away from a little bit of traffic coming down towards them, so taken a little hitch right and away. Now approaching the gate is Szabo and Pulver, and we'll go back to Christian on the water, and in a couple of minutes we'll go back to Xavier in France. But Christian, Szabo and Pulver not having the best final race. They really needed to finish second in this race to make a dent for that silver medal on the podium. And just tell us, what can you see, Christian?
Yeah, now it's a whole group. We had coming in, we had the Italian big bow number 42, Danilon, who just went around, and now it's Szabo that I see now the next one going around together with the Finnish boat, and a whole group of boats just actually coming around now, splitting between the left and the right hand side. Actually, most boats that are going around my end of here on the right hand side are tacking right away. I just see Gauci and Schenk going around, and it's a bit further on the left. I have Szabo and Pulver. They had a not very nice start to start with, and then went up the left and got a bit stuck on the left-hand side compared to Papathanassiou, who did a pin-end start and kind of took every shift up that beat. They just stayed for a very long time on starboard deck and couldn't make it to the front. So not the best position. I see them now probably lying in 7th or 8th, the Americans. And at the same time, there's still more boats coming down here to the gate. Very spread out, the fleet, and the view is decreasing quite a lot here with the rain. It's getting stronger and stronger, the rain. Breeze is probably at 10 knots, and there's further up, actually, the breeze after the big righty. Now, with the rain, it's gone more into the center. And it's going to be interesting. I see Papathanassiou all the way to the right, I believe. Far and Sturkley are on the left. And it's going to be interesting how this all ends up. Back to you, Big P.
Great stuff, Christian. Well, Merkelbach and Bartel are having a good old ding-dong battle with Sturkley and Spar, just duking it out for the lead. And just behind them in the second row is Pascalato and Burning with Zimmermann and Coy. So a good battle there. And then the top of our screen, going right hand up the course, we can see the Greek team of Papathanassiou and Chotras. Well, excuse me. Just clearing my throat there. Uh-oh, here we go. Big news from the racecourse. What does it say exactly? Oh, race cancelled. Can you believe it? Race cancelled. Storm front is coming. Security warning from Meteo Schweiz. We're sending them back to the harbour. Okay. Well, deep breath. It was getting exciting. We were enjoying all that. And we'll come back to Christian in a moment. These guys haven't been told that yet. We've just got that from the committee. That storm front coming in. So we will begin to see some of these guys just turn around and head back. Okay, deep breath. That's the way it goes. That is sailing. Never mind. Before we round up and give you the final results, let's just get back to Xavier in France. That's a shame, Xavier. What a pity.
Yeah, what a pity, because it was an very interesting moment with George having the maximum distance with Papatanasiu, and on the lake, it's really what you need. You need to put the maximum separation with your direct opponent, and so it could happen something before the race committee decided to cancel the race, but it was really an interesting moment and very difficult for the nerves, for sure.
Well, our commiserations to Beat Heinz and his team out there. They've struggled all day, actually, to get this final race up and running, and finally had to pull the can. They pulled the plug on day one as well. The racing, it was all looking a little tricky with the thermic breeze screaming down the lake, so they were cautious then. But these guys know the lake, they know the lake conditions, and that is their ultimate responsibility, and we have to respect that. So, Xavier, so you've been in Rio for a little while. You've been coaching the 49ers out there, and you're back in France, back home, in amongst all your tax returns, which we can see on on Skype. Just tell us, looking forward to Nassau, have you thought about Nassau and the Star Sailors League final, and what about crew? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, definitely. I'm starting again to prepare muscles, head, boat, everything, and especially the crew. So I'm taking back. We are taking back with Pierre-Alexis Ponceau, the crew. We were sailing together in London, 2012. So the same crew as last year, and now we know a little bit more the Nassau area, and we know more the technique, and we're gonna train a little bit in Marseille. So preparing with waves and wind. So I think we can handle in Nassau with a good preparation, and maybe I will be a lack of training, especially the starting procedure and all the acceleration you need when we will be sailing against very big names like Robert or the new world champions and all those guys. There will be a very tough battle there. So, but I think we will be prepared for that.
Well, Diego Negri and Sergio Lambertenghi are new Star Eastern Hemisphere champs. They're going to be there as well, and I know we spoke to them yesterday, and they were talking that they're going to be doing some training, and they're pretty serious actually about this Nassau event. They're going to take it on, and they've been flying here. They've had 3 race wins plus a 6th, so and a 2nd at the World Championships on Lake Garda. The Italians are looking strong.
I think for sure they will be like the strongest guy, one of the strongest guy to beat. They are really prepared. They sail a lot. They have a lot of racing behind them now, and they are really behaving like teams now. Last year they were a bit new together, so they made little mistakes, but not so much. And especially I think they work hard for the downwind technique, so now it's more and more difficult to overtake them or keep the distance with them. So they will be very, very strong to beat. That's for sure.
One final question, Zav, just on Rio. I've been reading a lot about the water and the state of pollution in the water. Just before we sign off and wrap up our championship here, just as you've just flown back from Rio, what's it like out there?
Definitely, it will be a problem. They have to take care of it. It's a quite serious matter there. You can read newspaper and on the TV, and they have, but they are taking care of it. They are really struggling to go forward, but they really want to clean everything, to have everything much better. But I think it has been like this at least not every Olympic Games I went, but few of them 2 years before was. Very classic big town on the sea with very terrible water, and they always succeed to clean everything, and then it's a very a good step for the future for them. So I'm quite confident they can do everything to be ready for the Olympic Games.
Thank you very much, Zav. Zav, I'm going to say cheerio, salut et merci.
Salut.
It was absolutely marvellous to use Skype and to patch you in from the south of France, from near, down the road from
Excellent.
Marseille. Enjoy your bouillabaisse and all your filing system there. It's great to see you at home. We're going to wrap it up here in Brunnen. Cheerio, Zav. Big thumbs
See ya.
up. We're going to wrap it up in Brunnen. There is our live camera from our commentary position at the wonderful Waldstätterhof Hotel on Lake Lucerne, and look at that sky. I can tell you, looking out the window, it's raining, and it looks a lot darker than that in the picture. So the race committee have decided to pull the plug. We will try and just whiz out for some final thoughts from Christian Scherer. If he's still on the line, I imagine he's accelerating as fast as he humanly can to get back into harbour. But Christian, are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm actually just with the.
Christian, if you can still hear us, we've lost you. We'll dial back in. I think, Chris, if we can fire up the results after 4 races, that is going to be how the championship is going to stand. Okay, so that's provisional results after 4 races is how the championship should stand. And I don't think there's going to be too much change to that top 10 leaderboard. So we know that Diego Negri and Sergio Lambertenghi, our flying Italians, have won the 2014 International Star Class Eastern Hemisphere Championship, and a great result for the Italians, who came second at the Worlds. They were just pipped on that final leg by Staniek and Klein from Germany for the gold star. But these guys will get a silver star from this Eastern Hemisphere. It's a kind of European level championship. Second on that podium will be Emilios Papathanasiou and Antonis Chotras. And okay, we're going to end this stream in just a second, and just run you through the leaderboard. George Szabo, Serge Pelfer, third overall, a great position, well done to them. And then Hubert Merkelbach, Gerrit Bartel in fourth, with the reigning world champ Fritjof Klein sailing with Swede Tom Losted in fifth. So congratulations to all. Our warmest thanks to Lorenz, Zimmerman and Philippe for organising a fantastic event here. And we are... Oh, Michelle has just sat next to me. Are we ending the stream, Francois, or are we chatting to Michelle? Ah, Michelle, hello. We're joined in the studio by Michelle Niklaus. You've jetted in from somewhere else in Switzerland to come and see the finish. So, final thoughts, Michelle.
Yeah, thanks a lot for the job, Digby.
Oh.
I was in office this day to works, but I mean, I was working, but it was not so easy to work because you were speaking. I mean, I have like a radio. It was good for me, and I mean it's really interesting to hear your comment and this intervention from all the stars. Really, really, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for you and for all the team here.
Oh, much appreciated. Thank you, Michel. Thank you. Listen, I'm going to, as we have our studio cam on, I'm going to say a quick thanks to Bridie and Ben from Virtual Eye, to Paul Sharp down in Dunedin in New Zealand, who runs all the numbers, to Chris Carpenter here, my trusted left-hand man who's been vision mixing and doing the camera and all the edits and all that kind of stuff. And so we're going to wrap it up to Francois and, of course, to Christian out on the water. Christian, I'm going to leave you to it. We had our call cut, unfortunately, but thank you very much to Christian Shearer, done a great job. And to everyone here, our hosts, Lorenz and Philippe in Brunnen. It's been an interesting event, unlucky with the weather, Michel, but, you know, that's sailing. We look forward now to Nassau and the Bahamas.
Yes, unlucky, but so Diego is the winner. The world champion was Staniek. He was not here today. So the leader of the SSL ranking is the first today. So I mean, it was really not so easy for the teams, but the best is the winner. And I mean, we have to remember about it. And yes, finished with Brunnen, and the next step for us is the final in Nassau. We will have 20 boats this year. You spoke with Francois last day, I mean, about it. But we will have the most beautiful coverage and the biggest, how can I say this in English, the biggest competition for us this year, for sure.
Okay, well, the dates for that is December 3rd to 6th. That'll be the SSL finals in Nassau in the Bahamas. It'll be the second one. We covered the first one last December. It was a fantastic event with some cut-off points, almost like a Grand Slam tennis tournament, which was your kind of theory, Michel. We really, really look forward to that. But for now, from all of us, cheerio to everyone watching us on the stream, and time to get back to work. Ha 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 ha.